I've been puzzled by this. I mean, I haven't seen any backlash in the UK about Rishi Sunak being from an ethnic minority. Have I missed something, or have you not seen it either?
No, I don't think you've missed anything, Philip. This is nothing but fabrication, in my view. Using the term backlash suggests that there's a significant amount of people in Britain, in the white British mainstream, who are upset over Rishi Sunak becoming our first non-white Prime Minister. That is simply not the case. If there is a group of people who feel that way, it is a feeling which is very much on the fringes of society, at the margins. The vast majority of British people, irrespective of their racial, ethnic or religious background, are either actively welcoming of the fact that we have our first non-white Prime Minister, or they simply think that ethnicity is irrelevant. Their focus is more on policy substance and quality of governance.
And to use an American expression, was this host projecting his views on the world? Was it more revealing about him than the actual truth of the situation? Because I'm looking here, we've got obviously a Muslim who's the mayor of London. The Home Secretary is a Buddhist. And then we've got the only, as it were, white main Secretary of State, Jeremy Hunt, is married to a Chinese wife. So if anything, Britain has always been sort of multicultural. So is it him projecting his views on a subject he knows very little about?
Well, I think that there's a great deal of accuracy in that. US commentators, especially of a liberal left disposition, what they tend to do is project their own national histories, ideas and experiences onto countries which are vastly different in terms of their social history and cultural background. The reality of the matter is, for all its flaws, Britain is one of the most successful examples of a multiracial democracy in the modern world. And I think that's reflected by the degree of diversity at the very top of our politics, business, media and entertainment. And I'd really make the point that when it comes to its broader legal framework, Britain is one of the most anti-discrimination and pro-equality places on earth. And it certainly fares much better than other European countries, especially those in the EU, such as France, Germany and the Netherlands, when it comes to providing anti-discrimination protections on the grounds of race, ethnicity and religion.
Rakib, I mean, we actually interviewed Delta Poll yesterday, who said that the bounce in the polls for Rishi Sunak was exactly the same as you would expect for any new leader of a political party. So that would show, beyond any doubt, I would have thought, that there hasn't been any kind of backlash. I just wondered what role organisations like Black Lives Matter play in this kind of perception, perhaps, because, of course, they sort of go around trying to see racism everywhere and point out that, you know, everywhere's racist. Do you think that their activities make other people think that, well, maybe Britain is a much more racist country than it actually is?
I think that's a possibility. I think when you look at existing polling, there's one poll conducted by Opinion, I believe it was in November 2020, which showed that the majority of Brits felt that Black Lives Matter was responsible for heightening racial tensions, and that included a plurality of ethnic minority Britons. I think the problem with the Black Lives Matter movement is that it views and presents very complex social, economic and cultural dynamics through a reductive prism of race. And that prism of race is problematic because it misses other factors which feed into racial disparities that we see in the UK. Family structure, which part of the country people live in, and the kind of dynamics which exist in their local community, what are the true markers of social status in their local neighbourhood. So you can see that when you're looking at those disparities, there's so many factors which feed into that. And I think that the presentation of Britain being a fundamentally racist country is simply not rooted in reality.